let's, speaking of Billy Slater, let's talk a little bit of Origin news at the moment. Of course, Billy was the one who brought in a lot of changes ahead of Game 2. New South Wales, just the one change to the 18th man. But, Bill, the big ones, of course, would have been Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow getting fullback over Reece Walsh. Were you surprised with that?
I was. I was very surprised. I thought they'd go with Reece Walsh, without a doubt. Hamiso last weekend scored 4 tries for the Dolphins, whether that contributed. But, yeah, I was surprised because Hammer's one of those players who needs someone to create for him and then he's a support player. But if there's a half chance, he scores them. Where Reece can play like a halfback. So I was quite surprised.
I think the other thing too is when you put Hammer there, you also then got to find another player. And it ended up being Shibasaki, who's having a great season, scoring plenty of tries for the Broncos. But that's 2 changes to the team.
Rather than just changing one position, keeping everyone else stable in their position.
Well, Hammer scored 2 tries over on the right side, went over the top of Brian and then scored a try from a shift. So he had a pretty good game on that right edge.
When you've got someone like Reece Walsh at the back there, does he unlock players in the team that Hamiso might necessarily not have that ability in his game?
Yeah, maybe. I think with the Broncos, the last couple of weeks, he's gone through on the left side and he's passed to Gurmit, Shibasaki. Yep. The last try against the Sharks, I think, and a couple others. So, yeah, he unlocks a lot of players. He'd take pressure off Munster and also Tommy Dearden. So, yeah, I was really surprised he's not there.
So you go to it with a plan, and your plan's going to be obviously be physical with Walsh. But if all of a sudden you give him 10 penalties away and you're sort of dropping the ball, Reece Walsh becomes a nightmare. And if you're completing at 90%, you might take him out of play with your kicking game. So, you know, whether Billy's thinking like that, then New South Wales will be better. And then hopefully Hammer comes up with, you know, a great support because you can see once he gets through the line, you just don't stop. You know, he turns the smallest opportunities into tries and maybe Billy's relying on that. So time will tell.
I don't think he brings the ball back as fast and as dangerous as Reece Walsh. Origin football's kick reception footy. You have a look at our kick reception. We've got Dylan Edwards, Brian To'o, play 2, is probably the best dummy half runner outside back we've seen.
And Zach Lomax has been running.
And Zach Lomax has been. And on their side, they're going to have Hamiso bring the ball back, and then they'll have Xavier Coates, who's a phenomenal athlete but doesn't bend the line, and the other one is Valentine Holmes. So I think the back 3 for New South Wales have got an advantage. Once again, there's Reece Walsh on the left playing to Shibasaki. Yeah, so I think that's an advantage for New South Wales, just on that kick reception coming out of trouble.
Reece is 18th man. There's no way that we could see...
Well, how's that? Can he change?
Yeah,
he can.
Yeah.
Do you think that could be a potential?
No,
you don't think? Yeah, you don't think?
I remember there was a time when he brought in Dearden and Munster was sort of through COVID. And, you know, there was thoughts around him coming back. He said, no, I'm picking Dearden. He's pretty strong like that normally. So I like the Papali'i idea. I thought he would have come back for Game 2, but he's definitely in good enough form. And I think his size through the middle is going to worry. Yeah,
what a moment. Well, 2 years out, and I think we actually have the vision of when Ricky Stewart found out that Big Papa got the call-up back into State of Origin after retiring, what was it, a few years ago? There he is. No. Ricky, that was after Big Papa scored 2 tries and kicked a goal in his milestone match as well.
Well, we've seen...
What a day.
When you came back, what did it mean when you came back? How long did you have out?
So I left 2001 and then come back 2004. So I had two and a bit years out.
Well, that would be the same, wouldn't it, for Papa? He was...
Alf would have been... Alan Langer would have been the same.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was such a great feeling.
How did it unfold with you?
So Gus rang me up. They kicked the field goal to win. Gus rang me up. And I think there was another injury. Someone else got injured and said, do you want to come back? I said, mate, that'd be awesome. I felt good in playing for the Roosters. So, and then I remember going jogging along the beach, thinking, I'll get fit and healthy, you know, get ready for this. And then I get this phone call by Sticky, because we got beat by Canterbury on the weekend. And he said, what are you doing? He said, Origin camp starts this afternoon, get into training. And he just flogged us. Oh, flogged me. And I was crook. I remember being crook. So I was crook for most of the week, but then I played in the last game.
Yeah. What do you think Big Papa brings?
Well, he's going to lift the other players around him. I'm sure some of these players have looked up to Big Papa and now they get an opportunity to play with him. And also, Papa would have thought his days are gone, and I've no doubt the cattle prod will be out saying, Payne Haas is the #1 prop in the game, Papa. You've got to take it to Payne Haas. So I think early, Papali'i and Payne Haas coming together, ooh, it's going to be juicy.
What he does do, you saw they set up a try with Munster where Harry Grant jumped out of dummy half. Look how many tries Papa scores from just leading with his dummy half. He becomes a real threat around the post. And then if that draws in defence a little bit, then all of a sudden Hammer and these sort of blokes got a bit more space out on the edge. So he's so dangerous around the middle of the field near the try line.
And he just keeps going and going and going. No one can stop him.
Considering how big he is.
Yes, yeah.